Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 4 sequences for Lab 3, and I've done the sequential statement for the first sequence for Lab 3. So we've got this guy going on, and the interesting thing here was that I found that it's really important here that the air comes out of the relay valve to go up to here, because if I were to do this and take this out here, the problem is that it didn't, actually it did that, it didn't work. And of course the rule is that you always put the push button before the first action. But after the push button, only the air coming out of the push button should only go to actions. So I did this, and I pressed the push button, that happened and this happened together, and then C never happened. The reason C never happened was because by the time I took my finger off of this and B finally fully retracted, there's no air left coming through here to go to there. So I was like, what's going on? So I did a diagnostic where I checked the air here, I had no air. I'm like, why not? Checked the air there was no air. Why not? I checked the air here, and I was like, why is there no air there? Oh, because it's coming from the push button. So all of the air to this group, everything in this group gets its air from the relay valve except the group selector, which is this guy, except we also have to remember that the actions only go through the push button. The air that comes out, so the air that powers any of the limit valves, that air, shouldn't go through the push button. It should come directly from the relay valve. So that's what's going on. So we did that, and let's watch it. It works. Okay, so I'll turn this guy on. It leaks a little bit. And press play just once, real quick. So they happen at the same time. C subtracts. Anyway, let's do that again. So these guys are going to go at the same time. That guy's going to go in. This guy's going to come back. And then C's going to extend and B's going to extend. So these guys go together. This is going to come back. That's going to come back. And these will extend. Done. And it was just one time. Before, what was going on was these two happened, and then nothing else happened. Unless I held my finger on this, and I was like, what's going on? So the problem was the fact that I ran the air out of here to this as well. So the air going to this was coming from the push button. No, now the air from here is coming directly from the relay valve. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So now this next one's pretty cool. What we're going to do is we're going to see these guys go first after. So essentially, these guys happen individually, and then they reverse together. And then this just goes bang, bang. So what's going to happen is that C is going to retract, A is going to extend, and then together, they're going to reverse this action at the same time, and then B just goes bang, bang. Let's take a look. All right. So I'm going to turn this guy on. Get the leaky noise. Oh no! But it's okay. It just leaks. Okay, press play. Okay, that does that, and then they both come together, and then, okay, one more time. So these guys are gonna do their thing, and then they're gonna do the opposite together. So that goes first, then this, and then they both go together, out and back. And we're done. Let's do the next one. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so let's talk about this. We've got this guy going on here. I'm loving this one because actually it may confuse you. You're like, well, no, but it doesn't work. Yeah, the reason you might think that is because that guy and that guy are right beside each other. So we don't see that traditionally. So this guy, these two are like way apart. These two are way apart. So, and then on the bottom one, they're way apart, but they're right beside each other. That's not right. Actually, it is, because this is the last action. So it's like, you know, in this group here, what's the last action in that group? Well, the last action are these. You know, grammatically, I love it that we can be grammatically incorrect with this. So it's because the last action is this, this, and this. So all three of these are the last action. So because they are the last action, we put air in here. So again, what's the group selector? The group selector is always the last action in the group. Well, the last action in the group is this whole group. So we go here and then down, and then the air comes out and goes there. Again, the group selector is always the valve of the last action. Well, the last action are these. Okay, good. So that's that. This group starts here, and then that's the last action of the group. That goes to relay valve. The push button is before the first action. Let's watch it go. So what's going to happen is, let me spell this out to you. So B will extend, and then all three will do something. A, and then B and C will all do something at once, and then the rest of it will happen. So let's just do it. B will extend. Have to turn it on. No. Okay, here we go. Bam. B extends, and then, oh, they all happen at once. You notice that they all didn't get back at the same time. Let me just, okay, so B's going to go out, and then all three are going to do something. Now all three are doing something, but this guy was a little bit slow. I think this guy got out, and this guy got out before that guy got back. So let's actually crank that down quite a bit slow. Okay, there. Now see? Now, those three started together. Ready? Okay, after this goes out, all three of them will start to do something. This is going to start to come back, but it'll come back slowly. Okay. See, these started to go out as soon as this got to here, and this started to go back, but that got back really slowly, and then nothing else happened until that got back. Once that gets back, then the rest of the sequence can happen. So, there we go. Let's do the next one.
You mean you want me to talk now?
Okay, here we go. So, this one's really cool. I'm excited about this one because I love this, because A is out, B is out, and C is out. In that, let's just take a look at the board. Okay, look. A, B, and C, they're all out. Now, because they're all out because the last actions were A to extend, B to extend, and C to extend. Or at least in the last bit of the sequence, the last kind of actions for each cylinder were to extend. So let's go back here. So what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for the last three cylinders and to see if the last three actions, to see if those three actions are all extensions. And then I'm like, oh, but they're not. Because look, that's an extension, and that's a retraction. So, but shouldn't one of them be retracted? Well, actually, no, because one of them's a B and one of them's an A. What's going on here is that the last action for C is this one. It's actually the first action in this group. It's the last action in this group, but the last action for C in this whole sequence is for C to extend. The last action in this whole sequence for A is for it to extend. The last action in this whole sequence for B is for it to extend. So that was cool because when I saw it at first, I thought, oh, maybe it's not working properly because I see all three cylinders are out. So, but what? No, the last three actions are this, out, and then in. I was like, oh, but that's a B. Oh, and that's an A. Oh, that's cool. So the last action for C is the first action of this group. Anyway, so let's take a look at this and make it happen. What I want to do is something kind of cool. And you'll see this in Automation Studio, and I want to kind of describe why you're seeing this in Automation Studio. When you start Automation Studio, the default of the cylinders are to be retracted. But when you start some of your sequences in Automation Studio, depending on which ones you did, you'll see that as soon as you turn the simulation on, some of them kind of move around before you even press play. Well, that's because they need to get into position. They need to be in their last action, or in that, like I kept saying and describing, the last action for A is to extend, the last action for B is to extend, and the last action for C is to extend. So when you start the process, they should all be extended. So when you turn the simulation on, it puts them into that position. So let's see, not only does it do it in the software, but it actually do it here. So if I turn this guy on, this should be out. Now, as soon as I turn the power on, it will go out. I won't have to press play. Watch this, ready? Wrong way. There you go, it went out. So let's actually do this again and like mess with it a little bit more. Put that back, put that back, and put this back. So can we put this guy back? Yeah, put it back. So, as soon as I turn the power on, they'll all go out before I even press play. Okay, here we go. Let's do that again. See, it all went out. Now I'm going to press play. So what's going to happen is that C will retract, then C will extend. A will retract, then B will retract, and then A and B will go out together. Here we go. C will retract, extend, and then they'll both go together. Perfect. So it works. So I think we're done. I'll go back.